Hello friends, I welcome you all for the next lecture of the subject Infrastructure Engineering and Construction Techniques. Today we are going to start with unit number 5, that is docks and harbors. So under this unit we are going to discuss about the harbor, docks and various components along with the ports. So in this lecture we will start with harbor. So we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of water transportation along with the harbor, its types and requirement, as well as factors affecting the selection of harbor site. So roadways and railways are common means of transportation on land, while waterways are common since hundreds of years for traveling between different countries connected by sea or oceans. All means of transportation need place of approach for using them. For example, railway stations are necessary for use of railways, bus stops are required for roadways. Aerodromes are constructed for using airways, while harbors are to be developed for use of waterways. So, the water transportation has its advantages and disadvantages. If we discuss the advantages, so it provides means of defense and is a cheapest mode of transportation. It leads to overall development and international trading. The load carrying capacity of water transportation is high and it encourages consumption of foreign goods. It also brought countries separated by oceans very close or near to each other. The disadvantages includes it is slow in operation and consumes more time. It is useful only when water is available as a mode of transport. Water transportation may lead to accident in case of frequent ocean storms. There is more chance of attack by other countries, and the fluctuations in water level causes rubbing of ships against the berths. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of water transportation. Though the water transportation has its own disadvantages, it is necessary to go for the water transportation, and because of which the harbors, ports are constructed. So now we will discuss about the harbors. So harbor is a sheltered area and it is generally used for loading and unloading of cargoes as well as passengers, and the vessels are also built, repair and launch at the harbor site. So we can define the harbor as a sheltered area of sea in which vessels could be launched, built or taken for repair, or could seek refuge in time of storm or provide facilities for loading and unloading of cargoes and passengers. So the classification of harbor, basically there are n number of types of harbors. So harbors are classified according to three criteria. First is the classification depending upon the protection needed, classification depending upon the utility, and classification depending upon the location. So depending upon protection, harbors are classified as natural harbor, semi-natural harbor and artificial harbor, whereas depending upon utility, harbors are classified as harbors of refuge, commercial harbors, fishery harbors, military harbors and marina harbors. And depending upon the location, harbors are classified as canal harbor, lake harbor, river harbor or estuary harbor, and sea or ocean harbor. Now we will discuss all these types in detail one by one, starting with the natural harbor. So natural harbors are located at a place where topography of coast is such that part of sea is protected by land and no artificial protection for ships is required in the form of creeks and basins. So here figure 1 shows the natural harbor. Here we can see the protection is provided from two sides. The topography of a land is in such a way that there is no need of artificial protection. So here the area, this area is called as a basin, which is protected from two sides by the land and no artificial protection is required. Therefore it is called as a natural harbor. So figure number 2 or picture 2 shows the natural harbor, in which we can see the land is available from both the sides of this harbor. Therefore it is called as a natural harbor. And here we can see a platform is constructed for the loading unloading of the cargoes as well as passengers. The ships are also parked. Here we can see the parked ships, and here the entrance channel is provided or entrance gate is provided for the entry of the ships into this basin. So such type of harbor is available at Bombay and Kandla. The second type of harbor is semi-natural harbor. So this harbor is protected on sides by land and is requires man-made protection at the entrance. So here figure 3 shows the semi-natural harbor. In that case we can see a breakwater, which is called as a artificial protection is provided on one side and one side is protected by the land itself. So here figure number 4 shows the semi-natural harbor, in which we can see the breakwater. The black color indicates the, here black color shows the constructed breakwater. Breakwaters are provided at the entrance from both the sides, and here entrance gate is available for entry of the ships in the harbor, and this is a platform for loading unloading of the cargoes and passengers. The ships can also be repaired at this place. So the example of semi-natural harbor is the harbor located at Vishakhapatnam. The next type of harbor is artificial harbor. So when topography of coast does not afford protected area and the same is provided by constructing protective work or shelter for the ships, such harbors are known as artificial harbor. So in this type of harbor the protection is provided from both the sides by the construction by using a breakwater. Means breakwaters are constructed from both the sides so that the protection can be provided to the ships. So therefore it is called as artificial harbor. Figure 6 shows the artificial harbor, in which we can see the breakwaters are constructed on both the sides of the harbor, and this is a working platform for the cargoes or ships. The next type of harbor is the harbor of refuge. So on dangerous coastlines, disabled or damaged ships under stress of weather conditions will need quick shelter and immediate repairs. So for immediate repairs and to provide the quick shelter facilities to the ships or cargoes, such type of harbors are constructed. So here figure 7 shows the harbor of refuge. The next type of harbor is the commercial harbor. So as the name indicates, it is used for the commercial harbor and it provides facilities for transporting and unloading of cargoes. It can also act as a storage sheds for the cargo, and it also provides good and quick repair facilities to avoid the delay. So here figure 8 shows the commercial harbor. The next type of harbor is the fishery harbor. So as the name indicates, such type of harbors are provided for preserving the seafood. So here we can see this is a fishery harbor, and fishery harbors are specially meant to cargoes carrying seafood or aquatic animals. They are always open to fishing ships for loading and unloading. For preserving the seafood, sufficient space is provided near the harbor. Next type of harbor is the military harbor. This harbor is meant for accommodating naval crafts and serves as a supply depot. The layout of this type of harbor is greatly influenced by its location. So here figure 10 shows a military harbor. Here we can see naval crafts are parked. Next type of harbor is marine harbor. The boats, ship repair works, fueling are done in this harbor. It provides following facilities for small boat owners having temporary or permanent berths. So the various facilities provided at this harbor are fuel, food, showers, telephone, washing machines, etc. So here we can see this is a marina harbor. The next type of harbor is canal harbor. So these type of harbors are classified depending upon the location. So when the harbor is located along the canals of sea navigations and inland, then it is called as a canal harbor. So figure number 12 shows a canal harbor which is located along the canals of a sea. Next type is the river or estuary harbor. So the harbor constructed along the bank of a river is called as a river or estuary harbor. Here figure 13 shows the harbor is constructed along the river bank. Therefore it is called as a river harbor. And last type is the sea harbor. So the harbor constructed along the coast of a sea or ocean is known as a sea harbor. So figure 14 shows the harbor which is constructed along the coastline. Therefore it is called as a sea harbor. So these are the various types of harbors which are constructed for the purpose of loading and unloading of cargoes and passengers and as per the requirement. Coming to the factors affecting the selection of site for harbor. So there are various factors which affect the selection of site. The site should be available with cheap land and construction material so that the cost required for construction can be reduced. The next factor is transport and communication facilities. So these facilities should be available at the harbor site. The next factor is natural protection from winds and waves. So we had seen the three types of harbors based upon the protection needed. So if the protection is available naturally, means if the topography of the land is in such a way that it provides a protection from one side or two side, in that case it is not necessary to go for the construction of a breakwater, and in that case we can save the cost of construction of a breakwater and as well as time can also be saved. The next factor is industrial development of the locality. So whenever the site is to be selected for the harbor, there should be a industrial development near the site of harbor. Next factor is seabed, subsoil and foundation condition. So all these three factors plays an important role in selection of site for harbor. Next is availability of electrical energy and fresh water. So fresh water and electrical energy should be available at the harbor site. At the same time, favorable marine conditions should be available and traffic potential of harbor should be good. In that case only it is mandatory to go for the all these types of factors. Coming to the requirement of good harbor. So there are certain standard requirements or specification for the construction of a good harbor. So those requirements are as: the ship channels, which may be either natural or artificial, have sufficient depth for the draft of the vessels which are visiting the harbor, so that the sufficient anchorage can be provided for the tying of the ships to the harbors. The bottom should furnish secured anchorage to hold the ships against the force of high winds. As we are parking the ships in a harbor, so the force that is exerted by high wind is more. So in that case, a secured anchorage should be provided to hold the ships against the wave of water or against the wave of winds. The next requirement is the land masses or breakwaters must be provided to protect against the destructive wave action. So, the harbors are subjected to wave action. Therefore, a artificial protection in the form of land mass or breakwaters must be provided on the harbor site. Next criteria is the harbor entrance should be wide enough to permit ready passage for shipping, and at the same time it should be narrow enough also. So the entrance gate or the entrance channel or the harbor entrance should not be too wide or it should not be too narrow, so that it should provide a easy entrance for the ships. Next is the features of a harbor. So the various features of a harbor are entrance channels, berthing basins, breakwater, turning basin, pierhead, wharves and jetties. So in subsequent lectures we are going to discuss all these features of a harbor in detail. In this lecture we will stop here and will continue in the next lecture with the various features of a harbor. Thank you.